So there must be nothing good on TV tonight. So thank you, everyone, for coming out. Yeah. All right, I am calling to order the Plan Commission for St. John for September 6, 2023. If we're able to, if we could all stand for the pledge, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
John, if I can get roll call, please.
Bob Burleson.
Here.
Yolanda Cardona. John Gills here. John Kennedy.
Here.
Bob Valoy. Jenna Lordson. Joe Gomestagel.
Here.
Town Manager Joe Wizawati.
Present.
Town Engineer John Dykstra.
Here.
Town Attorney Adam Decker.
Here.
Town Council Liaison Brian Blazak.
Present.
All right, we have 4 of the members here. We do have enough for a quorum. At this time, any vote taken needs to be unanimous. With that, we'll start with the minutes. If anyone had a chance to read the minutes, recommend any changes. If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept August 2nd Plan Commission regular meeting minutes.
Make a motion for approval of August 2nd, 2023 regular meeting minutes.
I got a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
I got a second by Joe. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. Motion carries 4-0. Next on the agenda, we have the August 16, 2023 Plan Commission. I will entertain a motion or any comments regarding potential changes.
Motion to approve August 16th, 2023 study session meeting minutes.
I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Aye.
I got Joe second. Comments, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. Motion carries 4-0. Next on the agenda was to be a public hearing for 2023-11 Suncrest Church. Earlier today, the town was notified by their legal representation that they would like to pull the application from the Plan Commission and BZA, meaning that there will be no public hearing tonight. So I want to apologize on the behalf of the town of St. John that if there is a future public hearing, they would have to go through the process all over again with notification. That does not mean you cannot comment at this time. At the end of our meeting, there is a public comment time. So if you want to stick around, since you are here, you can make public comment at that time. But at this point, we don't know what the future holds for this zoning change, but right now they have asked for the application to be removed. So I apologize for wasting any of your time, but at the same time, you are able to make public comment at the end of the meeting.
You want to say it wasn't our decision?
It was not, it was, again, it was they petitioned to have it removed. That was not on us. So with that, I will go proceed with the meeting. We'll start with old business. And again, we will have public comment at item number 7. Adam, everything good with that?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
All right, next on the agenda, we have item B, Martin's Commercial Edition, Lot 9. This is a proposed amendment to the site plan requesting a waiver for an 8-foot sidewalk. Is there representatives here for that?
Jeff Brandt, the petitioner, called me this afternoon and informed me that his engineer wasn't able to get him the cross-section views that we were asking for to see how the walk could be installed. So he asked that he be deferred. He'll come to the study session with more info and hopefully be ready to proceed in the October meeting.
All right, at per the request, could I get a motion to defer Martin's Commercial Edition?
Motion to defer Martin's Commercial Edition, Lot 9.
I have a motion to defer. Is there a second?
I second that.
Second by Joe Gomestagel. Comments, question? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries to defer 4-0. Next on the agenda, we have the Gates of St. John, Unit 21. This is a proposed final plat of Gates of St. John, Unit 21B. Mr. Kuiper, name for the record, please.
Tim Kuiper, Austin Kuiper, Jositis here on behalf of LBL Development LLC for this item tonight on 21B Final Plat. And if I could, there's a September 1, 2023 letter from John Dykstra, the town engineer, stating that everything is in order for this item tonight, that the secondary plat is satisfactory. It proposes the development fee balance and a public improvement completion amount. Both of those suggested amounts have been deposited with the town.
All right, any questions for Mr. Kuiper before I read the letter? Hearing no questions, I will read the letter into the record. Dear Plan Commission, Robinson Engineering has reviewed the final secondary plat for the above referenced project and had the following comments. The project includes 23 residential lots and associated facilities on a total of 7.1339 plus or minus acres. We offer the following comments. 1, we have reviewed the final secondary plat and find it to be satisfactory. The development fee balance is $10,012.38. This fee is 2% of the construction costs. And that fee has been paid, right, Tim?
Correct.
Mr. Kuiper?
Yeah,
all
it was
right,
paid
that's been
Friday.
Paid. Public improvements are complete except for the completion of the certified engineering as-built drawings and installation of street signs. An irrevocable letter of credit or cash escrow should be submitted to the town in the amount of $21,395 to ensure that unfinished items will be complete. And that has been turned in as well, right, John?
Yep.
All right.
And it was slightly turned in incorrectly. Instead of 395, it was 935. So it's actually slightly more, but just so I'm clear with the record, it's more than the requested amount.
21, 935. 935?
Correct. And
Yeah,
As well have to
receipt's
make a
up
motion for
on
the
the
town to
screen now.
accept. Absolutely.
show you the receipt that identifies them.
All right. All right. Just make sure I did this right. An irrevocable letter of credit or cash flow should be submitted to the town, which is in the amount of $21,935. Hearing no questions or comments to Mr. Kuiper, is there a motion to approve secondary plat? Or final?
Motion to approve final plat of the Gates of St. John Unit 21B.
Have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
There is a second. Questions or comments?
I need to read the findings of facts.
Just, why don't you update your motion referencing the findings of facts?
And I want to update my motion for the findings of facts.
Joe, are you acceptable to referencing finding of facts?
To the 21, yes.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries 4-0. Next on the agenda, very similar item, 24B. This is proposed final plat for the Gates of St. John, Unit 24B. Mr. Kuiper.
Again, Tim Kuiper, Austin Kuiper, Jositis here on behalf of LBL Development on the final plat request for 24B. Again, another letter was received from Robinson Engineering dated September 1st, 2023 from Mr. Dykstra indicating the satisfactory final plat that was submitted, proposing a development fee balance of $25.91 3 cents, and then proposing a cash escrow of $17,380. Both the development fee and the cash escrow proposed amounts were deposited with the town on September 5th.
Very good. Before we address this, can we go back to item C, gentlemen? I apologize for jumping too quickly. We need to make a recommendation for the town council to accept the, was it cash escrow? Tim, you did for
Correct.
21? A
Correct.
cash escrow in the amount of $21,935. I apologize for missing that step.
It's a recommendation.
It's a recommendation to accept.
Make a motion to recommend cash escrow of $21,935 to the town council.
We have a motion to make a favorable recommendation to accept the cash escrow in $21,935. Is there a second? Second by Joe. Questions, comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Sorry about that, gentlemen. All right, any questions for Tim regarding 24B? I will read the letter from Robinson Engineering. Dear Plan Commission, Robinson Engineering has reviewed the final secondary plat for the above referenced project and have the following comments. The project includes 47 residential lots and associated facilities on a total of 12.3844 plus or minus acres. 1, we have reviewed the final secondary plat and find it to be satisfactory. The development fee balance is $2,591.03, which has been paid. The public improvements are complete except for the completion of certified engineering as-built drawings and installation of street lights and signs. An irrevocable letter of credit or cash escrow should be submitted to the town in the amount of $17,380. Sincerely yours, Robinson Engineering. So again, we'll make two, either, we'll need a motion on the final plat and then a recommendation for the town council to accept the cash escrow in the amount of $17,380. Please reference finding of facts, please.
Motion for approval for the Gates of St. John units 24B and findings of facts.
We have a motion to approve the final plat for Gates of St. John 24B referencing finding of facts. Is there a second?
Second.
I got a second by Joe. Questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. Motion carries 4-0. Next on the agenda is a motion for the town council to accept the cash escrow of $17,380.
Motion to accept the cash escrow of $17,380
We have
to
a
the
mo-
town council.
We have a motion to accept the cash escrow. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Joe. Questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You do the same, sir. Next on the agenda, we have a proposed site plan of a drive-in at 9525 Wicker Avenue. Gentleman, name for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is James Huss with DVG. My client is Corey Dedamore of CLD Holdings LLC. We are here to again present our intent to develop the property at 9525 Wicker Avenue to become a Chipotle restaurant. With having been in front of the Plan Commission once and then for a study session prior, we have reviewed the site plan a couple times, excuse me. We have no changes since our last report, but if there are any new questions, we'd be happy to answer them. At this point, just provide a status update. We did present at the most recent BZA meeting. We did receive favorable recommendations for the special exception related to the Chipotlane, the special use for the small portion of outdoor dining, and the associated variances that we had requested. Our schedule currently is we are waiting on the BZA to pass last minutes on the 18th. We will be back if needed at the Plan Commission on the 20th, and are hoping the town council formally passes things on 9/27. From a design side, we have submitted the full civil set to the town. We are expecting comments back late this week or early next week. Given the scope of the project, we expect to have no issues answering any comments the town's engineer has. With that, unless there are any questions, that's all I have.
For the record, please note, Yolanda Cardona is here.
Got it.
Good evening, how are you?
Hey, how are you? Sorry about that.
We are on item E. He has just presented the site plan. So you had 23 variants to go through BZA, and you received all but,
No, we did receive all of them.
you got all of them?
Correct.
Okay.
20. Yeah, it was 20 total.
20. I'd question, so so the initial site, the driveway was on the south side of the lot. So did you have to get NDOT permit to get the driveway put to the north side of the lot?
We have submitted for an NDOT permit just to get that ball rolling. While I don't have it formally in hand, I did actually receive a notification in the state's system that that is forthcoming possibly as early as tomorrow.
Okay. So this still has to go through a public hearing, correct?
For
Site plan?
site plan,
No.
No, it
It's not a
doesn't?
public-
Okay.
Site plan does not require a
Okay.
public hearing.
So we can actually take action on this. So this would be either approval, denial.
Did John
What's that?
do all the engineering on it, review? Did you do the engineering review?
Yeah, it's under review right now.
Under review.
Oh, it's
Comment,
still under review?
yeah, comments are pending per what they said tonight. That's the timeline expectation, so.
Okay,
should be
so no
soon.
action then tonight.
Huh?
So no action tonight. You're still not done reviewing.
Correct.
Okay, I apologize. Sorry. Is there any questions then for the petitioners?
James, you said you were hoping to get this on the agenda for the 27th for approval? I don't know if we're going to have time to get the minutes and everything approved. prior to-
Assuming would it be possible if the BZA passes their minutes on the 18th? Is that enough time?
Are you guys having a regular meeting on the 18th? That's a study session.
This is a study session.
So they wouldn't be able to approve the minutes at the 18th because it's a study session. So it would go into October.
the BZA would have a meeting on the 18th, on Monday, the 18th.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't have another meeting
them,
until
yeah.
October for us to improve our minutes.
Right.
To the
For the plan commission.
It's my understanding that the town council, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that the town council would only be formally approving the special use and the special exception, not the finer points of the site plan.
Correct. That's correct.
So with town council approval on those two, and then plan commission approval for any engineering issues on the
Was
4th.
approved at that previous meeting?
That was the schedule I was under the
Gotcha.
impression.
Made the recommendation to the town council,
Okay.
so now the town council would have to take action at their end of the month meeting
Okay.
if they get the approved minutes
Gotcha.
from the BZA.
Gotcha. So nothing has to come back here.
They would
The
just
fourth.
have to get the site plan once John,
But that's not, to
They would
his
be
point,
back
it's
in
not going to the
October.
town council for, that's
for
just
the
something.
special exception.
That, well, that would, yeah,
Yeah,
So they wouldn't come back here till our next month's meeting
right.
for,
yeah. Well, they could come back to the study session and give any updates, and then, once the engineering review is complete, then we can do the site plan approval and contingent on the council passing their part in September.
so just when you talked to NDOT about the permit, there was any discussion about a decel?
No, there was not.
I appreciate the information that you sent us. Some of it was Greek to me, but since I work for an engineering firm, I was able to have someone review it. So, all right.
Yeah, I fully expect that when we are back in front of this body, we will have the NDOT approval in hand
Okay.
for the driveway permit.
I assume they got to give you, I mean, you need access to your site, so.
Precisely.
Any questions or comments regarding this before we let the petitioner go?
And I'm sorry to interrupt again. Was I understanding everything correctly that ideally we could have site plan approval on October 4th? Assuming that town council passes the,
An engineering review is completed. And we
Understood.
we get a nice letter saying that everything looks good to him.
that's the plan.
Please don't give it to him the last week. Give him some time.
It
Uh,
is,
We have it in hand, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
very, very good.
James, when was NDOT notified?
The formal app, they've been processing driveway permit applications surprisingly quick, as I've quickly learned. I believe it was formally submitted end of not last week, but the week before. So that's been their typical turnaround time. They had a couple questions that have been responded to, so.
Okay.
What were the questions? What were their questions?
I'm still learning the finer points of what information they want on the sheet. It was not of anything substance, just more formatting, dimensions, and a few more information where they like to see it. There was nothing related to the location of the driveway or the size of it or the justifiability of it.
I just don't want a Dairy Queen queue. When you park in Dairy Queen and that queue wraps around the building, it's hard sometimes to back out.
It will,
so.
I guarantee it will not be like that.
All right, I know you told us that a couple times, so I'm holding you to it.
If not, you better get your vest out.
Sounds good, I got one.
You should be doing some traffic control.
You saying you go to Dairy Queen a lot, or what?
I do. You see my belly? All right, any other questions? See you at study session for updates, and then hopefully John has a good handle on it, and he can sort of give us the blessing, so.
Sounds good.
Awesome, gentlemen. Thank you.
very
Have a
much.
good evening. Next on the agenda, we have Lot 7 in the east half of Lot 8 in Munich edition. This is a proposed preliminary plat of a one-lot subdivision at 12711 West 93rd Avenue. If the petitioners are here, if you can give your name and what you're proposing for the record, please.
My name is Chris Ennigenberg, is my wife Amy. What we propose, as far as to do with the lot?
Yeah, well, just what your,
Oh, that's the house, okay.
yeah, the plan for the lot, yes.
Our plan for a lot is to put a single house for our family on there, single-family house on that property.
Very good. What was there before? That was was it a vacant lot? It was just
Vacant lot well, since I think the subdivision was even started back in the 70s, I think.
Gotcha. Just one comment that I had, and we've done this in the past, 93rd is a very heavily traveled roadway, and we try to reduce any future conflicts. This is a discussion point. Would you have any issue of a non-access point along your northern end of your property, so no future driveway can be put there?
No, we don't
We're
have-
just trying to avoid, you know the roadway.
Right, yeah, we
would just
Plan to put the driveway out onto Hilltop.
understand, but. right,
no
but-
future,
Oh,
no
yeah, no.
future plans for off of 93rd, no.
But you could do it because there's we have ordinances that would allow you based on pervious pavement to put one there. That's why I would ask for you to consider us putting a no easement or no access easement along the northern end. So this lot would never be able to have a driveway that would access 93rd. We're just, that's been a,
That's fine with us.
okay.
Yep.
You'll note that?
Yeah.
All right.
Make a note of that, yeah.
And then,
We just wanted to request the public hearing for October 4th then.
we want to plan to attend the September 20th study session meeting and like to request a public hearing for October 4th.
And usually after engineer review, what we sometimes do for a residential one lot like this, we've done it in the past where we do your first and secondary all at one day.
Right,
Okay.
that's what
Yep.
they said.
So if everything's all in place and all lined up and he gives us a nice letter saying everything looks good, then that's something we could accomplish, so.
Okay?
Yeah, Mr. President, it is under review. There will be a few surveyor-related comments, so, and I plan to get them to their engineer pretty quick, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he'll just have your engineer add the no access easement along the northern end of the border if you're fine with that. Okay. I hope you understand why.
No, we know. That's why we decided to stay on the Hilltop side.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Questions, comments? All right, we'll see you in a couple weeks. Study session, will always be good to come back if there's any final last-minute questions or final review.
And then he'll have those questions for the 20th study?
Study session in 2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks?
We don't take any action, we just, any other additional feedback that needs to be required for the site plan.
Okay,
All right,
super.
Thank
Thank you.
thank you. All right, next on the agenda, we have amendments to subdivision control ordinance. Mr. Gill, how?
Yeah, Jenna and I have been kind of trying to button this up. We got some feedback from some other departments. She sent it out. If anybody has any comments, get it back to us, and we're looking to kind of get the loose ends tied up and get it to public hearing and get it finished up.
Some entertaining reading, 161 pages of subdivision control code, so. Thank you. All right, so that's everyone's homework for the next meeting. I think they got the last of
Be a
the.
quiz on it too.
Yeah, the technical review from all the department heads on recommended changes to the subdivision control ordinance, and then we'll have a public hearing on October 4th to make those recommendation improvements. John, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
If anyone signed in, can you hand me that sign-in sheet? We'll go through the sign. So what I'll do, if anyone did sign in for the public hearing, again, the petitioner has removed the application. I will call your name. If you still want to speak, you can speak. If you did not write your name down, I will offer one final time for everyone to speak before I close public comment time. So, Shirley Moran. Okay. Jerry Bromley. Mr. Bromley, just, and for everyone's understanding, no. State your name and address for the record, please. Because we'll list it in our minutes.
Name is Jerry Bromley, 8328 West 107th Place, St. John, Indiana. Reason I'm here tonight is I have a petition to oppose the extension of 107th Place in St. John, Indiana, submitted by the residents of Orchard Gate. I have 177 signatures. At some point, I'd like to present that to the board. The petition basically involves the parcel that was a petition to be here discussed tonight, either accept or deny for Suncrest Christian Church. And in light of that, myself, the residents, have been, since we purchased the property in Orchard Gate, the understanding that the street of 107th Place would never be extended into that parcel. It's pretty much a dead end. We expected a berm or some type of separation to be placed there, but now there's a high concern that that road may connect, whether it's a church that's there, residential property, or commercial property. In whatever case, we're very much opposed to this, and largely because, not just because we're told it would never connect, but the through traffic would be increased quite a bit, to the point where, you know, we walk, we bike, we have grandchildren, we have to cross the street, get the mail. It's basically a safe and quiet neighborhood. And by opening, if that street were to open, it's going to create an excessive amount of traffic. The people passing through it will not really give a hoot about who lives there. Their desire is going to get from that point to 105th Avenue to get out to Klein. So we just don't see a great advantage at all for that to happen. So with that in mind, we urge the leaders of St. John, this board, and the town board to oppose any actions to either extend, widen, or connect 107th Place to a connecting road. Thank you.
Mr.
May
Bromley,
I
thank you
submit
for your
this?
comment. I'll maybe give it to John Gill, and then we'll
Sounds
include it with our records.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And just for your information, that stub of 107th Place at the end is a private roadway, so there would not be any other connection to it. It is private. It's a private driveway to service those last three homes. So it's not a dedicated road that can be added onto by somebody else.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. All right, next on the agenda, and I apologize if I mispronounce your name. I do it. Is there a Peggy and Bob Hausfuser?
Holzhauser.
I apologize. I apologize every morning when I get up to my wife because I know I'm going to make a mistake sometime today. So, if again, your name, we got your name, but name and address for the record, please.
My name is Peggy Holzhauser. My address is 8333 West 107th Place. I'm one of the Orchard Gate residents that is a transplant from Illinois. Everybody knows why we all moved out here. And we wanted to have a nice, safe place for our retirement years. With all the hubbub of all of this going on, it makes us all very nervous. And yet we are the taxpayers here, and we would really like it if you would uphold the original rules of our subdivision the way it was sold to us. That's very important to all of us, and you can see that we're out here in force tonight, and we would really appreciate your support on this.
Thank you for your comments. Bob, would you like to go next? I know better. I like that. Woo! He's been married for a long time. He knows better, man. He's been married. All right, Debbie Graw? Debbie Graw. Nope. Okay. Elba Vega? Ella Vega? Oh.
Come on down.
And Ella, you can move that mic. Not saying that you need to move that mic, but if you need to move. Oh, okay. My wife's.
My name is Elba Vega. I live at 8345 West 107th Place. I am the last house at that dead end. Okay, so I am really concerned about what may happen in the near future. You have said that you are not planning anything now. Let me tell you, those of us who live on 107th Place, both corners, have dealt with the construction, people disrespecting our driveways, disrespecting even the mailboxes. I have had to threaten a couple of people from construction with the police department because they don't think that we have any rights. So can you imagine what's going to happen if in the near future something else changes? Also, we would like a nice berm there with maybe some nice trees instead of all the garbage that the construction people have left there. When we walk out, that's what we see. Rocks, gravel, those black rolls that they left them there. Nobody removed them. And to me, that's, that gives a bad image to the neighborhood. We pay all this money for the houses, and then we have that kind of a bad image when we walk out, and when people come to visit, this is what they see. So this is why we are really opposed to any kind of changes happening there. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you for your comments. I appreciate that. Holly Station? I apologize. I did a bad one on that one. Pam Gildman? No? Okay. Do you guys want, I can go through the names and crucify this. Does anybody just want to, if you guys want to just come up and speak? Or I could read through all the names, whichever way, please. All right, I appreciate that. Just again, sir, your name.
One at a time.
Your name and address for the record, please.
Sure. Yeah, my name's Tim Smith, and I'm at 8595 Larkspur Terrace. We live on a property that's adjacent to the church property, so we're very concerned at the highest level as to what might happen on that property. We just moved in a year ago, or a month ago, and when we put our money down originally, just like everyone else, was told there was going to be a church there, okay? We did our due diligence. We look around the neighborhood. We see that it's zoned R2 PUD, so it's going to be residential friendly. And you look around St. John, you see the other churches. You see the Suncrest Church, and you see that it is got lots of green space around it, and you think that that's what you're going to get. And so to get something very different from that would be a shock, and would actually devalue the look and the appeal of what we thought we were buying into in the gates of St. John. So we looked at the zoning requirements, and it's very clear that you do not need to rezone this property in order to build the church. The church could get a special exemption from this group, and that's an easy avenue for them to want to build the church. It is a bit surprising that this property is just only slightly larger than their existing property. So I don't know how big of a church you could actually put on this property and retain a good green space feel that's kind of common and typical and expected, for this area. And so, and the desire to move this to commercial is also a surprise. There are so fewer so many fewer requirements for a commercial zoning. It opens up the land to be used for almost anything. The church could sell it to somebody else. You could put a bar or restaurant on it. And so it's kind of a Pandora's box as to what it might be used for in the future, completely contrary to what we all assumed when we bought into the gates of St. John. Another point is that even if you were to do any kind of rezoning to commercial, if you look at the rest of the corridor around 231, it's all narrow strips along the side of the road. The proposal was to do this entire parcel, which goes a couple blocks back all the way up to residential area, to be commercial. And there's actually, I mean, that's over the top. There's no need to do anything like that. Again, in the Pandora's box, it brings everything all the way this way. I don't know if the church made a proposal. I know they've withdrawn it for now. I don't know if they've made a proposal just to see if it would be approved, or whether or not this committee or anyone on the committee gives guidance, does any filtering of their ideas for what might fit. I don't know if you have a copy of the diagram that was on display on file.
Mm-hmm.
I have it. John, do you know which one?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up now. Yep.
This one?
Thanks.
Should be this one, yeah.
Yeah, I just want everyone to see that. I mean, this is the most concerning and alarming of all. I mean, I know this is supposed to be an early proposal, but somebody has this in mind, okay? This actually, there's no green space in this. It's paved the entire lot over. I don't see anywhere in the gates of St. John or in this area of St. John that looks like this. I mean, it's a concrete jungle, and I don't know what size church they want to put here, which then dictates how many parking spaces they might need. But it seems like trying to put a church that's way too large for the property. You know, by changing it to commercial, not only does it open it up to other uses, but they're allowed to have less green space. And so this is the look that you could potentially get. And they even went so far. Again, we live adjacent to this church property. The parking spaces go all the way up in this drawing to our property line. And I don't think that's allowed at all. But it just goes to show you what they're trying to do with this land is to pave the whole thing over, put a church building, and maximizing the value that they will get out of the land at the expense of everyone who lives, in the area, especially the people that live nearby. So again, I don't know if there's any filtering or guidance that you give to people, but it's just this is so far removed from what anyone would say makes any kind of sense that it really is like go back to the drawing board. And maybe that's what they're doing, which would be great. But the land is just slightly bigger than the other church that they have. Their other church is zoned R2, the same as this one. It's just not in a PUD. And you see the amount of green space that you get and the size of the church. Their church there's got 300 parking spaces and lots of green space. Here they had almost 1,000 parking spaces and no green space. Huge difference, unacceptable. I think that they should hear that. And
I think they're going to hear it because I'm sure they'll be watching the meeting.
Okay. Okay. All right. So anyhow, thank you for hearing my view on this.
No, thank you, Tim. And Tim is correct. Right now, we were just potentially, and I don't want to talking about rezoning this from a PUD to commercial C2. We didn't discuss really a site plan, and when you have commercial along residential, there has to be, based on our subdivision control ordinance, a 10-foot green space buffer. But, so Tim's right, that wouldn't be allowed in our town except if a board, I think that'd be BZA, would approve that. But that's putting the cart before the horse, but I just wanted to make sure that I don't know where it's going to go from now or what's going to happen, but Tim is right. This site plan wouldn't be able to exist unless they got some special variance, because a 10-foot buffer between commercial and residential would have to be required by the town. So thank you, Tim, for bringing that up. All right, I saw another gentleman. Again, name and address for the record, please, sir.
Good evening. My name is Harold Munkin. I'm at 8443 Larkspur Terrace, St. John. Just a couple of questions and reiterating on what Tim said. I know they proposed this back in April, I believe, was the original proposal. So it's completely off the table as far as we go. Am I correct?
So we received an email today that we're trying to determine that based on their email. They said to pull the application from Plan Commission BZA. So we're trying to determine that, trying to figure that out, if they're pulling the application entirely, but no matter what, they will have to re-notify the public of a future public hearing if they wanted to proceed as is. But unfortunately, I don't know what that.
Okay, and then what about the signage they put up? The sign that's on 231 showing the church going there. It was there the other day. I didn't drive by it today, but it was there.
They had to do it. They followed.
It says Crossroads Church. I don't know if anybody else has seen it, but it's there.
Not seen it, so.
Okay, so if they propose to remove it all, will they remove the sign?
We will have to discuss that with them.
All right. My question next is then, we had a meeting back in March of '22 about the roundabouts of Parrish and Klein. If we continue on putting commercial in that area, what's it going to do to that? You can't go down 231 now as it is. I left my house at 7:20 in the morning, and it takes me 15 minutes to get from Parrish to the Shell station.
That's the state's decision.
I understand it's the state's decision, but nothing's been said about it since March of '22.
Because the state said it's not to be considered probably until 2025, 2025.
Well, it was 24 originally when we started construction.
You know how the state is, they can do what they want.
And I understand what you're saying, but if you're talking about changing to commercial, you're going to have some kind of an entrance there on 231. This church is going to ask for it, or if somebody else is going to ask for it, because that's the access, the easier access to get to it. All this is going to cause a bigger problem.
The town can't make decisions based on speculation. We have to know.
That's fine. I understand, as long as it's stated. My last thing is, what's the standing on Calistoga and Stone Creek proposals?
They just brought them up for consideration. We haven't even.
Because that's also congestion on 231.
I understand, sir. Yes.
So it hasn't gone any farther than a concept.
That is correct, sir.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen, very much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, for a moment.
Mr. President, I like better.
Mr. President. Whatever you prefer, if I may.
Absolutely.
I just want to, first of all, thank everyone for coming out. I know when you get a notice or something like that, it does, invite a lot of attention. So I do appreciate everyone coming out to voice their opinion. By a show of hands, who is opposed to the church project as it's laid out?
Okay.
Okay. I think that speaks volumes. So, we do appreciate that. And obviously, you may not be opposed to it if there's changes and stuff like that. So please be aware that if they do come back, like the president said, they do have to notify everyone. Please come out again and voice your opinion, or at least learn more about the project, so you're more informed as to what's going on.
So if there's more.
Yeah.
I hate to keep on repeating myself, but name and address for the record.
My name is Karen Smith, and I live at 8595 Larkspur Terrace. So you had mentioned that even though if it's a C2, they have to have a 10-foot buffer. That's not big enough for me. So 10 feet, I get it. Now C2 can go 50 feet high. So according to the St. John zoning book that you guys have, so right now it's PUD, which is the planned unit development that was designed by John Lawton in 2004, 2005. I don't really know. Does anybody know exactly when I speak, which is it, 2004 or 2005? When John Lawton presented his PUD to the...
It had to be 04.
I just want to be accurate.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just say
Unfortunately, I wasn't
2004,
on the board back
2005. I know, I get it.
I just got
And
out
you
of
know
high
what?
school.
And back then it was, and back then it was just all like, farmland and, people trusted people and everything. So this thing got, this plan development unit, it got designed, and John Lawton is pretty much, I don't think there's anybody that can kind of tell him how it's kind of changing or different things. He has a very ironclad PUD that he designed. Kudos to him for the big businessman that he was back then. But C2 can go 50 feet high. So right here in the St. John zoning book, right now, how it is, it's R2. So if we go down, the church can get an SE, which is, the special exemption, to build their church. So my thought process is, why did they come? What's their angle? What are they trying to do? That's all you have to do is come before the board and get an SE to build your church. Why do you want to switch it to C2? So C2, when I went through the zoning book, wow, that really opens it up to a lot of other things. Bars, like my husband was saying, bars. I would love a school. A school is nice, a car wash, automobile, but it can go all the way they planned it up there, it goes all the way to the back of our lots. So I'm just wondering, why did they ask for a C2 when you can get your church built with an R2? They already have that. That's all they have to come in front of you guys and just get a special assessment from you, a special exemption. So I'm kind of like, what's really going on here? And then they just pulled it and all of us came out. And if you see, okay, look at lot 2. Okay, when I watched the video, because I wasn't even living here when they came and spoke, and they said they want to put a donut shop there for when people, the comment was when they leave church, they want to go pick out, get some donuts and some coffee. Well, I know the other churches around here, like St. John Evangelist that I attend, they have coffee and donuts inside the church. I came from Munster, they got a coffee shop inside the church. So I'm like, you're saying you want a donut shop and a coffee shop? Okay. I don't buy that. So why would you want to do that whole piece of land, C2? Okay, you know what? They bought the lot. Everybody wants to make money. Everybody does when you buy a piece of land. So let's just give them lot 2 for C2. Let's just give them that area because maybe they want to make some money off of it and then put your church on that whole thing. But making that whole thing C2, like my husband said, you will open up a Pandora's box and 40 different things, which 2004, 2005, John Lawton came to the town, St. John, and he presented this plan, and now we're dealing with it in 2023. So whatever you guys decide right now in 2023, what's going to happen 20 years from now? Because you've already given them carte blanche for 40 other things that can be there. When it's already in your books, you can get your church there. That's all you have to do is come ask for a special exemption. Thank you.
Thank you. Was there anyone else I thought wanted to speak? All right. So, going what?
Joe, is there any way you could get the actual year that this happened for her? So, I mean, they're doing a hell of a good research in 2003, 2004. She's asking for it. Perhaps we could get that information for her.
As far as when the original Gates was platted?
Yes.
I'm sure we can find
so
that
that
out.
way she has that. As
Yeah, I like to speak.
yeah, that's good.
I just don't know exactly, so it is, I don't know. Sometimes they spoke in the video, 2004, some people say 2005. And
Well, now you're going to get the facts.
Oh, I wasn't even born yet. Yeah, no.
I'm on your line. You're taking my line. All right, so again, I'm going to ask 3 times just to make sure I don't miss anybody, because I want to make sure you guys took some time to come out. And like their town manager said, we do appreciate it, because if we don't hear from you, we don't understand. I don't live in this part of town, so it's great for you guys to come out. I do appreciate it. So I'm going to go.
Can I ask a dumb question?
No.
How will we know when the next time is that we need to make ourselves present?
So when anyone has to come in for this type of zoning change, if they do come in for a zoning change, you have to be notified by certified letter.
300
I'm trying to
feet.
figure out the distance.
300
feet.
Yep.
300 feet. So neighbors, not all of you, I don't know where you all live, so if you're more than 300 feet, hopefully your neighbors will rally like you guys did tonight and let people know. But anywhere within 300 feet from the site, you have to be notified.
Plus, they'll probably put out a sign like he mentioned that's sitting there now.
But the problem is when you go down 231, you're kind of going a little bit fast, so you kind of can't read it. So I saw the sign.
We're doing new signs. We're doing new signs.
It's a true story.
True story.
That thing with the church, you know how they just put their sign up? I was involved in something like this in a different town, different place, different state. They have to, because I said, where is your sign that says, by law, you kind of have to follow steps.
Right.
Where is your sign of future site of this? So we had just moved in a week or two, and then automatically I'm driving down 231, and I said, hey, put that sign up. And then 3 days later, I get a knock on my door. Here's your certified letter. I'm like, and then
Oh.
I don't go to
You
the
need-
lab.
So,
Yeah.
you're on record, so we need you to speak to the podium.
Sorry.
And again,
Sorry.
this is public comment time,
Okay.
so if
So
we can make
I-
our I'm
okay.
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
Yeah.
We make our comment, it's not a back and forth discussion on 4, it's public comment. We try to answer the best we can, but we'll do it.
Gotta
I'll
do
call
it
3
by the
times.
books.
If no one else needs a comment, then I'm going to close public comment. All right, thank you. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were telling me leave.
No, I would never. I know better. I don't want to get your husband in trouble. Who's that guy?
No. So, when I was talking to you, so the sign went up that said Suncrest Church, and then I never go to the left. So where that sign is, it's kind of like right in the middle, kind of pushed back. It's red and blue and kind of thing, but I don't even know the speed limit on 231.
As long as they're in compliance.
I know.
That's
I know.
all we can require.
I know, but it's hard to see. And back to her question, how are we going to know to come out? Because I think one gentleman said this has been going on since like April kind of thing. I don't think a lot of us knew that this was going on. You know, so I need to be putting up pictures on my wall and buying new rugs and not researching and doing everything. And so we just don't want to miss it, because things get missed, and so we just want to make sure that we show up and so I get what you were saying, that there was that sign.
Also, the agendas for all the meetings are posted on the town's website, so if you wanted to check out the agenda, you could see what's actually on there for each meeting.
All right.
And I was
Okay.
able to find in our archives here the primary plat for the Gates subdivision, and it says drafting was completed 9/4 of 2005.
2005.
So that was when they actually drew the primary plat with all the sections. It's
John,
9/14/05.
Mr. President, for the
Yes, sir.
record, the speed limit of 231 in that area is 45 miles
45.
per hour.
Well, I go 60, so unfortunately. No. All right, anyone else? Going once? Going twice? Oh. The price is right. Come on down.
I'm John Frangris, and I live at 10716 Jupiter Lane. And you did say that road is not going to be continued, correct, sir?
Yeah, correct. The 3 homes on this dead end stub here, that's actually, they own to the center line of that right roadway. And then the side yard of this home here, you can see where it highlights it. It's actually their private property. So the public road turns, 107th Place turns north onto Juniper, and that's the only public right-of-way there.
Okay, so that, it'll stay the way it is right now then?
It'll stay a dead end, yeah. And
Okay.
whatever ends up going there, if something ever does go there, they would just abut that with landscaping or whatever. They wouldn't be
Charging
able
you toll,
to
though.
send cars onto it.
And I got one more question. As far as if they do put the church there, or whatever, you said there's a 10-foot buffer only between the property lines and that's all they're required?
If it ever gets rezoned to a potentially commercial use,
Okay,
between a residential and commercial use, our subdivision control ordinance requires that commercial development put minimum 10-foot buffer.
So that don't mean it'll be a berm. A berm's too big for that then.
It's berm buffer. I don't know how that I didn't get into the weeds too much on, but there would have to be some type of landscaping between the residential and the commercial, or on the commercial side.
Berm's actually the way to go, but that's not, whatever.
A lot of people do berms, but I can't commit to what a future potential commercial would do at this site.
Okay. Okay, so right now we're at a standstill, that nothing's gonna have change.
That's where we're at right now. Right now, as today, it's PUD still.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, going once. Oh. Name and address for the record.
I'm Nancy Zarnecki, 8569 Larkspur Terrace. I wasn't going to talk, but the last subdivision I lived in, Plum Creek in Cherville, they put commercial, one whole side of the subdivision. Luckily, I was on the other side of the subdivision, but a lot of my friends lived there, and they all complained because every night when they would get these trucks making deliveries, they would hear beep, 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 and it woke everybody up. Now I'm going to be in that spot. I do not want this. That's it.
Thank you for your comments.
No beeping.
And you wouldn't want to wake up to that either.
No.
No, absolutely not.
All right, going once. Oh, sorry. Name and address for the record, please, sir.
Yes, sir. My name's Ken Babusiak. I'm at 10722 Juniper Lane. I just arrived a few minutes ago. The question I have is, who's responsible for maintaining that property right now as far as cutting the grass? We all just got brand-new sodded yards, all of us that live around the perimeter of the place. Now we've got weeds just encroaching us, like left and right. And I've been here for two summers now. Who's in charge of you can't cut the whole thing down, I understand that, but can you cut a perimeter around it, a barrier or something to save our yards?
We could reach out to the landowner and.
We'll reach out to the landowner.
Yeah, just something we could compromise on. A perimeter is fine.
Okay.
Okay,
I
thank you.
appreciate the comment. John, you'll.
Oh, wait, there's more.
I didn't have to say 1, 2, 3.
I know. It's like
Probably the last one.
No, we don't. Hey, don't get. Hey, come on.
My
I've
name's
been here till
Sharon
2 in the
Webb.
morning one time. So
I
come
live
on,
in
bring it.
107th Place. My biggest
Wait,
question
I'm sorry.
is...
Can you repeat that again so your name and address again?
Sharon Webb, 8334 West 107th Place.
Thank you.
I talk loud, so I don't need this. My biggest concern is flooding. They're going to put in a parking lot, right? When you put residential homes in, they put berms, retention ponds in. What are they going to do there? Blacktop? Right? Isn't that a flooding concern?
No, every developer has to retain their own water on property, so they would have to, based on our subdivision control ordinance, maintain the water on their property.
Yeah.
Or at least funnel it within their
But
property.
most of it will be blacktopped.
Yep.
So,
No, I appreciate your comment.
okay, thank you.
We'll buy kayaks. What? We'll buy kayaks.
Name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Tony Bespakos. I'm at 8588 Larkspur Terrace. My question is, when do they turn the association over to the unit owners? Because I know Sterling Gate's probably 99% complete, yet we can't form a board of 5 with the unit owners. Is there a law in Indiana to say, okay, it's time to have your own board instead of...
That is above my pay grade. I
Oh,
don't know
really?
what the legal, I don't know if there's a state law, Adam, that requires the HOA to be turned over to the residents. That I do not know. We're not
No.
involved much in HOAs or the development of them.
So who should I talk to? Who should I ask then? I thought I was at the...
You have an attorney that could review your HOA document. Adam, you're an attorney. Do you have any recommendation for him?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
I think your advice is sound, that they should
Okay.
seek their own legal counsel.
Adam's our attorney for the Plan Commission. I just made sure before I gave anyone bad advice, which I try to avoid, he agreed with my recommendation to find a attorney that could review your HOA document to address with the other party.
Thank you so much.
Sorry I couldn't have a better answer for you. All right. Going once, going twice. All right, public comment closed, motion to adjourn? I got a motion, second?
Second.
Again, thanks everyone
Thank
for
you for
coming
coming
out
out.
and giving us your opinion.